Drop what you're doing and pay attention, because we're hitting you with a Going Deep Show after school special style that's going to shake you up. It's the first of a 4-part series that dives into some heavier than normal shit and doesn't hold back. The Kid AG and El Prez talk boomer struggles, dating fuck-ups, and exes that won't leave you alone. There's also a napkin poem that saved a marriage. Don't ask, just let it hit you. But it's not all serious. Crocheted cocks are flying, and there's a vow so insane it involves Jesus and Satan showing up. It's love, loss, and absolute madness, all packed into this first episode. So grab a tissue, plug in your earbuds, and blast the Goin' Deep Show. Episode 2184, the After School Special Edition. Tune in, go deep.
Live on your chin. Oh, yeah. This is the Goin' Deep Show.
Welcome, everybody. Good morning.
Good fucking morning. It's time to rise and shine, motherfucker.
I feel like I got emotional this morning, and I'm not saying that as a joke. I've been working on this video for the baseball team, man, and it is a choker because of one of our fans' fathers, a guy who I considered like a dad to meet myself even. It was just a glimpse of losing somebody important to you, and I have a feeling tonight is going to be pretty emotional as we watch this video. I showed you part of it, and before you got here, I watched it. And I was like tearing up. I'm like, he's going to walk in on me and you're crying like a little baby.
So,
like a little whale.
Two things. Who you taking so you can get, a little sympathy fuck out of it.
No, I don't need that.
Yeah. All right. It's not like taking somebody to a funeral and then banging.
Well, yeah. Erasure's coming with me. Erasure's coming.
Nice.
And it should be good to see everybody, but it's going to be. This is one of the events where the wives are along for the ride. They come and they hang out, and it's the 20th year of the team, and it's a little bit more. I think I'm hoping that more people are going to be there, considering the weight of what's gone down in the last couple of days with losing a very, very close. Yeah. I would consider him a member of the team. I would. His towards his dad he was a staple at the field. Always was wearing independent stuff. Always talking to everybody. He was just a consummate fan of the game. One of the happiest people you could ever fucking be around. I feel like I'm getting all chokey wokey about it, but I like to. These are the moments where I do like to capture it on the mics, because years down the road you want to remember the people. How often you had a family member, your grandfathers or grandmothers? Are they still alive? Or are they gone? Or are they what's the status on that?
With me, it's just my mom and dad. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you this part. The weirdest part is my one grandfather I never met. He actually was died or in an accident at work or was shoved, depending on what the legend and lore is. So he died when my dad was 16. So I've never met him. And but I do know he was a preacher. I know he was a womanizer. He could sing like a motherfucker and play guitar.
A preaching womanizer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
The Baptists, so you got to be able to identify and repent and,
you can't ask for forgiveness if you aren't sinning, right?
Exactly. Yep. And I'll never forget my dad saying, I told my dad one time, I'll never be like you. And then fuck he was. He turned out just like his own father. Those Cats in the Cradle moments.
Oh yeah. That song gets me, man. And this is going to drum up some interesting things, because you said you never met your grandfather. I never met my grandpa on the Garcia side, because he passed away like a few days before I was born. Mm-hmm. And I've never really sat down with my dad to ask him about any of that and what it was. This may be an instance where I bring him in here. I actually have been wanting to do that recently.
Yeah.
And with the passing of Two Court's dad, I think everybody reflects a little bit on their relationships with their kids and their relationships with their parents. This is really an official going deep show. I mean, because but in it.
Don't worry, kids. We'll get to the shits and giggles in a minute.
Way well, there will be poo-poo, caca talk, all sorts of things. But this is
you hear these advertisements for things about recording conversations or, with your parents, because parents are that way too. When you used to have, an answer machine when I used to work for the phone company, it would have it happen where somebody died in a family. They were retaining that recording of that voice. Mm-hmm. And we all see it where people post, if only I could have that conversation again or hear their voice again. And once you lose that or you forget how they sounded, especially, it's very, you just want that back. There's no other way to put it. You just want it back. You want one more moment. My kid had a thing on their school this week. It was pause or rewind. And it was, what would you rather do? Pause or rewind? Life. And I was, wow, to be that in depth this last week. Do you want to go back in time and change something? Or would you want to pause time and be in the moment? And we've all been there.
I don't think I'd want to pause. I don't, even with all of the things that I've done over the past however many years, because I don't know, I feel like there's so much more anxiety these days. I don't know if it's just because we're getting older. I thought life became a little simpler and easier, and it wasn't as difficult. But each year on top of the next, I think it stacks up because it just seems like it's so much quicker. I think back then it didn't seem like it went by so fast, and as you get to the point where we are in our age, you can look and say, how many more summers do I got? How many more?
That's the Brandon Lee. The Brandon Lee. How many do you have? Every day is not guaranteed, and how many conversations? As I walked out the door, coffee in hand to come here, I looked at the sunrise, and it's like, all right. You did
the same thing I did. Yeah. And I think it tails over from what I was talking about, or what I was working on last night. And that thing right there, I woke up with a little bit of an energy, even though I only had like 4 hours of sleep. I woke up with an energy to get right back on it. But as I was walking down the steps, I saw the glimmers of the sunrise coming up, and I was just like, okay. Yeah, the thing you're talking about right now, I had the same exact feeling today. It's weird.
This week, I was driving up to Alpena for work, and I go 23, go Thumb Coast or up that way, and I stopped in Tawas, one of the little park there with the dolphin. Everybody knows it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And sun's coming up. You got ice out on the bay, the Huron, Lake Huron, and it just took you. Sun's coming up. Water, ice, snow, and people thought I was flying off somewhere, and like, no, it's just sharing the moment, man.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And again, you just don't know how short it is, man. I just saw Two Courts at another funeral a week ago, and his daughter, and I was just like, it was nonchalant. It was great, good to see him. And we were like, oh, we'll see you next week. No one could have ever predicted that within 6 to 7 days, you were kind of almost revisiting that feeling of, because our team captain lost his father-in-law like a week or so ago. So it's like, I think it's doubling down on me now. Here's something even stranger, okay? Yesterday, my ex-wife gets a hold of me. Mm-hmm. And not to take this one directly down, but because this is something different completely. She says, this is a weird conversation. Do you have some time? And it's in the morning. I'm at work. I was just about to get up and go get some coffee. So I'm like, no, I got a break. I'm going to walk to the kitchen and get some coffee. So she goes, this is going to sound really weird, but we had a son who passed away young. He's only alive for like a week. She goes, there's something to ask you. He goes, I'm going out to the cemetery and I'm talking to them about a plot for me. Mm-hmm. And immediately I got to in the back of my head, is something wrong? What's going on? Are you dying? What's happening? Are you okay? My head gets into that immediately. She senses it because she says, don't worry, I'm not, she has to tell me that it's okay. I'm not dying yet. But the weird question was, would you care if they dug him up and buried him with her and she passes? And I was just like, what kind of an asshole would say no to that?
Right.
That's like the most. I can't even I can't even express how fucking crazy that was that she would even first of all, have the respect to call me. And this is the kind of relationship that her and I have. I still care about her very much. She's a great person and all that. And I don't want to, gloss over the fact that when you really, really are a fan of somebody, you wish them happiness, whether it's with you or with someone else. It doesn't fucking matter. Her calling me and telling me that, dude, I almost fucking broke down right there in the kitchen at my fucking workplace when she said that. And I was like, I would never fucking, why would I?
Well, and that's the thing. It's wonderful that you have that because you do have such a history together, good, bad, or indifferent, and the good days by far outweighed.
And I was the cause of all the bad ones.
Yeah.
But I was the fucking shit out of all the bad ones.
That's one of the things. That's a true testament when you know that no matter what, an ex, whether it's somebody you're married to, ex-girlfriend, whatever, will reach out to you for, to share their success or to, hey, you're the only person I know will get this or I could talk to about. That says something about your character in a big way that they still think of you that way. And, and that's a blessing in itself. That means you're doing something right.
I tend to always think back to what she used to tell me. And she would always say, you want to be more of an asshole than you really are. And it's probably true, but I don't like to say that out loud, really. In fact, I can't believe I even said it on here because I don't, for the most part, I'm the circus ringleader. I'm the one that's here to try to stir stuff up to make the conversation interesting. Now, I'll tell you this right now. I know I'm going to get some response on this because this is really, I think I'm going to get some good response on this because this is us being fucking real because there's some real shit going on. And you have to capture that from time to time. I am scared out of my mind to go back and listen to those shows when my kid passed away. I am. I don't think I've ever gone back and listened to them. I think there have been times where the live stream, which handles most of the audio at random, I'll kick onto it sometimes and it'll be that at that time and I'll hear myself talking about it and I have to turn it off. I can't. There's certain things I don't want to go back and remember how I felt. Does that mean, you know what I mean?
Oh, I do. I do. And for our listeners, yes, I've got a notepad in my hand. I'm smoking a pipe, and kids laying down on the couch.
On the couch.
On the couch.
We need some relaxing music in the background.
But no, it's one of those things too. I think we use, and I know you're going to disagree with me on this, but
it's okay to disagree.
We use things as a defense mechanism to deflect, and sometimes that's what you do. Mm-hmm. It is your defense. I'm just gonna fucking blow this shit up, so I don't have to deal with what's bugging me.
Yeah.
And that's
I think this is a male thing. It's a male thing. Mm-hmm.
It is. As much as we want to fix things all the time, we don't want to fix ourselves sometimes. We just want to wallow in it.
I think well, yeah. I don't know when I broke up, when things split up with many of the females that I've been with in my life. Oh God, yeah. I just want to you know how it is. It gets
pour
heavy.
Kerosene on the fire. You want to see intense? I'll give you intense.
And it's unnecessary.
Yeah,
we're all fucking human beings. That's the biggest issue. That's the biggest thing.
Yes.
Okay?
And
we all have emotions. We all, and I don't, and again, I will throw fuel on the fire of anything that will kind of rile people up. In fact, I do it on purpose to try to rile people up. But for the most part, we all got to remember, we're all dealing with our own shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm having this issue with my child right now. Once I had read on the phone, I was like, hey, I said, what in the fuck is going on? I said, there's a whole thing. My kid is upset with me on some levels where I gotta get with her and be like, hey, we need to have a serious human to human talk, not dad to daughter talk, not any of that, not as someone who's in any type of authority over anything. Human being to human being. We need to set the record straight and talk about what is pissing each other off and everything like that. Because, yeah, I mean, do you have a child?
Yeah.
Communication, man. When it comes to these kids, they love communicating when they need something, man. They do. They love it. It's fine then. But you know what? When some shit's bothering you, they'll bottle that shit up. That's the more important time to fucking talk about it. And I got a laundry list of things, and I think they forget. Just like I did, I tried to put myself in her shoes. When I was that age, I didn't want to fucking hang out with my parents.
Yeah,
and that's kind of why I'm a little bit more play it from the sidelines kind of a guy.
But sometimes when you play it from the sidelines too much, then they start to think, well, they don't care.
Exactly. Exactly.
And girls are different than boys. I love it when my kid last night comes to me like, Dad, don't get too pissed off when I tell you this. And
see, I like that he does that though.
But we had to have a conversation a long time ago about need to be able to, start the conversation in a certain way to bring it down. Just don't jump into things. Hey, can we talk? Can we do this?
Yeah, to set that line so that you know when you're veering off of it. I guess if you don't know when you're going into it, it's probably easier when he does that. So that's a great thing. That's a little bit. He's showing a level of maturity there where it's probably a good sign of things to come. I think when it comes to that. So you raised him right on that point because my kid she will start blazing you did this, and this, and that's what pissed me off. But it'll be in a moment where I'll call her ass out. She'll ask for something, and I want to. If I could provide literally every penny that I have and give it to my children, I would do that. I feel terrible when I can't give to my oldest. I feel terrible. I have 2 grandkids now, and I would seriously. I'd give the fucking clothes off my goddamn back for these fucking people, but I can't. We live in an economy now where I'm a single dude in a single place scraping my ass by. So it's like
shit's gonna get tighter.
Yeah. So it gets kind of like discouraging when all they do is contact you when they fucking need or want something. But you can't be critical of that. You got to sit there and think, okay, let's fucking make this work somehow. And her mom does way better than I. They have a household with 2 incomes coming in. They're fine. I don't have such a thing. I don't have such a luxury.
Yeah, I got that this last week. My kid, breaks the computer. One of his friends at school broke the school Chromebook, and I'm like, fuck, that's gonna go. He's like, well, don't worry, if it costs money, Mom will take care of it. And it's like, well, but that's not the answer. It's like, wait a minute, let's back up, and never should have got to that point. And that's where a lot of kids, again, trying to understand, they need to come to you as not just when it's money, it's for to spend time or to confide in, and you just it's got to be that judgment free zone like the studio is. There's no judgment here in the studio. So
I want to ask you this, kid, because this is when he says something like that, does that hit you in the ego a little bit? Like, because for me, I know where I can provide in certain ways and where I can't. And where I can provide in certain ways, she doesn't lean into that more. I'm more of a talker. I'm more of a let's get this out. When people come in here, everybody just is. It's a free will. It's a therapy session in a little kind of a way, where she may have that with her mother as well. But you know how women sometimes are. They will or won't. They'll butt heads like crazy. They'll bond. It's that wave of, I love this person so much. Oh, get the fuck away. I can imagine it's got to be a little chaotic. But when a man can't. This was one of my biggest fears when they were living here. What if someday I lose my job or I do this or I do that and I'm not able to provide for you? That is a man's biggest fear, I think, in life, is to just not be able to be the rock that the family needs or wants. I mean, so when you said that, Mom will take care of it. I feel bad when I realize that people who I'm with. And it only occurs to me from time to time, they make more money, they're able to do more things, and then it's a pride thing. It's almost like it's a pride thing where you want to be the one who does these things. And I've had a friend of ours who's I miss very much, who lives out east now. I think he had the same take on that. He made enough, and he did. His love language was taking people out and paying for them and doing that, and it was. You could see he had this sense of pride about it. He almost got mad when someone would pick up the bill, and but you could tell that I think by somebody else doing that, it took part of his
identity.
Not identity. He loved to do that for people. He knew he had that feeling, that sense of like, I did this for you, and it was a gift. And when you took the opportunity for him to give the gift away, you kind of took that from him. I think he may have been a little mad about it. I think, but he's such a generous guy, and
But later on, I'm sure he probably thought, you know what, that was cool. Somebody took the weight off of him, even though it probably wasn't a weight.
It's not even a weight.
I'm sure he probably went, wow, that's respect. And usually,
I hope he did.
Usually when you do
I
that
wish I
for
was
somebody that always does things for, it's like you have to look back and it's like, let somebody else carry the load. Not that it's a load or anything, but just using that metaphor a little bit. So,
no, it was something I think that he did willingly, and it was I care about you guys. I want you to I want you to not worry about that. I have that, and it was a very comforting thing.
We've got the crew that I've associated with throughout the years. We've had an unwritten, unsaid policy that if one person doesn't have anything and we're all getting together, we just cover it. And it's because we don't want somebody left out of that moment. Mm-hmm. Because we've got some friends that haven't always kept a steady job or whatever it may be. It's that always accepting, haven't talked to you for years. We don't give a shit. Just come out and hang with us, and have a good time. And that's important too. When you're talking about that friend, I'm sure that's what it is. It's like, hey, I'm just grateful for the moments, the memories, and being together with each other. So
well, I think it ties back to what I showed you in the video that I did.
Very much so.
So that I shot probably 95% of the photos in those videos. The ones I'm not in, the ones that I'm in, of course, I'm not taking those pictures. Most of those team shots, but I've been very lucky when it comes to building camaraderie with people on the baseball team, on the podcasting side of stuff, even in the art. I have some artist friends that I bond with a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah. Life's too short, people. Let's start fucking getting along.